Yeah, so thanks for sticking around. Again, my name is Rob Reed. I'm the founder of MomentFeed. Yep, it rhymes. Going to talk today about thinking globally, acting locally. MomentFeed is a localized marketing platform, which of course begs the question, what is localized marketing? So quick review there. It's really, in a nutshell, the ability to do hyper-local with national or global scale. What it does is combines multiple channels. So you've got search, social, web, in-store, multiple disciplines. You've got paid, earned, owned media, shopper marketing, into a combined solution where really the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. That's really what localized marketing is. And it's really being driven and enabled by mobile. Mobile has almost necessitated the advent of localized marketing because consumers now, as a result of mobile, are demanding more relevance and authenticity from brands because the mobile device is so personal. We don't look at mobile as a channel. Mobile is a lifestyle. It's the disruptive technology that is, the biggest disruption since television. So the way that we look at it is, TV really ushered in the era of brand marketing. You don't do TV marketing, you do brand marketing. TV is the technology. Likewise, with mobile, mobile is the enabling technology for localized marketing. So what's now, as a result of this, brands no longer have to make this choice between the reach and scale of brand marketing and the relevance, authenticity, and limited reach of local marketing. They can combine the two into localized. So again, while the whole here is greater than the sum of the parts, it's really important to understand what those parts are. So you've got local search, you've got social media at both the brand and local level, and you've got advertising. These are pretty much the three main categories of localized marketing. And with the time we have today, we're just going to focus in on the advertising piece, in particular on the Facebook platform. So the idea here is, how do you deliver hyper-local messages across hundreds of thousands of business locations that drive consumers into those stores to make a purchase, and better yet, how do you measure down to that level, down to the point of sale for each one of those locations? That's the challenge. So this is our campaign interface. Quick show of hands, how many are familiar with the Facebook Local Awareness Ad Objective? You guys heard about that? All right, it's relatively new ad objective on Facebook. Really, it's the first time Facebook has enabled marketers to reach its users, its mobile users, based on where they are, as opposed to just where they live. So a Facebook local awareness ad can be delivered around a business location within as little as a 1K radius to Facebook mobile users who are currently in that radius. So that's important in order to make localized marketing scale. So in this example here with Applebee's, we've chosen a local awareness ad type with a click-to-order call to action. And part of the secret sauce here is, if you're going to deliver one unique ad for 1,800 locations, which is what Applebee's has, the ads need to be unique. So what our engine enables you to do is dynamically insert content that's unique to each location. In this example, it's just the city and the street address. Really simple stuff, not easy to pull off, but really simple. So in the preview mode, you can see that this ad is a desktop newsfeed ad for the Moncks Corner Applebee's, and only going to be delivered to the people around Moncks Corner. This is the ad for the people around the East Peoria on both desktop and mobile. So again, there's going to be one of these for 1,800 locations. In addition to click-to-order, you've also got the options for click-to-call. We're the only platform that supports click-to-call on Facebook. And in order to do this, again, at scale, you need to be able to insert the unique phone number for each location into each ad. And then finally, you've also got co-op, where the retailer and the CPG can actually collaborate on a localized advertising campaign that drives sales for both parties. So when you're running these campaigns, it's important not only to be able to visualize what you're actually accomplishing, because it's pretty substantial. So this is a campaign where there were actually about 700 locations. And what you're seeing here are the heat signatures for the various ad metrics, CPM, CPC, right down to transactions, if that was something you were tracking. And now at this level, the city level, you're starting to see the radius around which each ad for each location was served. And then again, right down to the neighborhood level, being able to see that this particular location, $14 was spent to reach almost 4,000 people, just around that radius. So we're going to wrap up with a case study. This was a co-op case study with Pizza Hut and Pepsi. It was a local awareness campaign. And what we wanted to show was the effectiveness of localized creative. So it was 150 locations in the Cincinnati DMA. We divided up the locations pretty much in half, where one set got generic messaging. Same targeting, same creative, same call to action. It's a click to order. But it was just like a generic national ad that Pizza Hut otherwise would have run. And then the other half got localized with just the city and the street address was the only thing different about these ads. So the first thing that we noticed was the comments on the ads spoke to the fact that they were localized. So you get this in your news feed, you kind of take a double take. You're like, what? This is like national brand, but it feels like it's coming from my local pizza place. It's a different experience for the consumer. They're not used to this, even though it's kind of what they're demanding. As a result, they also have a higher rate of sharing the ad, something that you can do on Facebook, of course, and then mentioning the fact that it's localized. How many think the localized performed better than the generic? Right. So the localized had a 79% higher click-through rate. Now, normally, I'd say that clicks don't matter, because they don't. Click-through rates on ads is a meaningless metric, unless that click is tantamount to a sale. So this was, of course, a click-to-order campaign. Click-to-call, that would also be meaningful. Click for directions is the default call to action on a local awareness ad, showing clear intent for the consumer to go to that store. Those are meaningful clicks. In fact, though, the localized creative outperformed the generic across all ad metrics, to the point where this campaign, these localized ads, actually generated the lowest cost per order Pizza Hut has ever had for any campaign through any channel, just by inserting the city and the street address into the ads. That was the only thing that was different. Of course, they were local awareness ads, so they were all delivered within a mile radius of a Pizza Hut. So the combination of these things is really what drove that performance. And looks like I got maybe a minute or so left if anybody has any questions. All right.
I do have one question. So this tactic, you're using it exclusively on social, is that correct, on Facebook?
Well, Google search as well.
Right.
Yep.
So social is obviously a setting where people are expecting content to be more tailored toward their location and all of this. Do you think this tactic would be as effective in things like traditional display and all of that?
You know, I think I've seen it done in display. Our position, the reason why we've built so heavily on Facebook and Google is because of the incredible audience tools that you have available there. You know, with display, you're often just taking really educated guesses about who you're serving ads to, right. You know, based on cookies or based on their mobile counterparts. Mm-hmm. Whereas Facebook, you know, like you're targeting people. You're targeting, you know exactly who you're targeting. So that's why you can get that much more personal. Because if I want to hit, you know, moms between, you know, 25 and 34 on Facebook, that's who you're going to hit.
Right.
There's not going to be any waste.
Yeah, and in terms of which would you say is more important, sort of the logistical aspect that you're giving them information that is, here's the address, here are things like this, or do you think it's the fact that they're seeing something that's more relevant to them and thus that makes them feel a little better about the ad? Which of those two things do you think contributes more to the effectiveness of these types of ads?
I think I just think they're just not used to seeing this level of relevance from a national brand. So if you can just kind of imagine the consumer experience, you're scrolling your Facebook mobile newsfeed, and we're getting even programmed on Facebook to ignore the ads.
Right.
But we're still seeing aspects of them as we scan through them and try to see the content from our friends. Like you can just imagine a consumer doing a double take when they see an ad from Pizza Hut that actually mentions their city. I kind of look at it like, it's like when Beyonce gets to the Staples Center and says, "Hello, Los Angeles," right, and the place goes wild. It's like that. It's very similar for a brand to call out your city,
right,
that you're actually in right now. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's all the
Thanks,
time that
David.
we have.